This is a re-recording of a post by Dakota Fred for one of his second Tuesday night broadcasts. And we hope everything goes all right with this. Let's see if we can find this. Hello, folks. This is Dakota Fred. Welcome to Dakota Fred Treasures and Other Stuff. Tonight, I think we're going to focus a lot on panning. And I'm going to tell you what. First of all, I want to welcome everybody to the show tonight. I think we got a much stronger signal tonight. You never know what's going to happen when it's live. But I'm going to tell you what. You never know what you're going to find in a gold pan. You might find some pretty interesting stuff in there. So, I want to welcome everybody to the show. I can see we have a few people coming on. Hello, Brandon from PA. And Joan, hello. I'm seeing a bunch of people starting to join the show right now. By the way, you will be able to see this video, even though it's live now. You will see this video after we finish, and we'll have it on our Facebook page. And hello, Craig, Ben from Minnesota. Yes, we appreciate all of you. And tonight we're going to focus on panning. One of the things there's always a big mystery about panning. I'll tell you, people for years have gotten gold and they've used all kinds of stuff. Nowadays we kind of use a little bit of plastic stuff. This is a little fancier pan. This is one that's got some little bit of small extra ridges on the side, in addition to the regular standard traps, little gold. We call them gold traps, mouse traps. Down at the bottom, they got a little ridge down at the bottom to help trap the gold, and these ridges in the front end of these pans. We use all kinds of different pans. I'm going to show you my old pan. This thing probably had quite a bit of gold. Pretty dirty too. You can tell it's a pretty used old pan. And mine has just got the regular old ridge. It's a little 14-inch pan. That's probably my favorite panning stuff. Nothing unusual about it. Just an ordinary old gold pan. There's all kinds of things you could use for gold pans, but it's better to have a regular standard pan. Here's a picture of me quite a few years ago. And what was I holding? A little bit of gold, about 2.5 ounces of gold in that. That was 45 yards of material we ran. That was in about 2005. And you see I have a little bitty small pan. That's a test pan. Little 10-inch test pan. You see on that screen right there, I've got a 10-inch pan right there, and that is what I'm going to teach you how to be an expert gold panner. Taught probably about 4,000 youngsters how to pan for gold, and they've all got it. 3 years old, all the way up. Now, lots of adults too, but the adults were hard to teach. The kids really got it, but I guarantee the adults, a little difficult. So, bear with us today. We're going to be helped today by Zach. Oh, there he is. That's him. And Kayla is over here. She is probably going to, hello there.
Hello.
And she's going to be shooting us a bunch of questions. My little monitor, I can see a few of them. Hey, Lynn and Patrick, Tracy from Manitoba, Canada. Yes, Patrick, yeah, when you write in, if you would put where you are from, I would really appreciate it. It kind of helps us let other people know where you're from also. We only use first name and maybe where you're from. And we can't get to all questions. I will try my best to answer a bunch of these questions after the show and into the morning. So, but we will be, right this second, we're going to concentrate on how to teach you how to pan for gold. It's always been a big mystery about gold panning. There are 100 ways to pan for gold. Yes. None of them are wrong. Some are better than others. Some are more efficient. And I'm going to demonstrate one of the easiest methods I know how to teach you how to be an expert gold panner and why I use a method that I do. Doesn't mean I'm any faster than anybody else or any better. It's just it seems to be a little more efficient for me. You, on the other hand, after you kind of see a bunch of techniques, you may want to develop your own techniques, and that's perfectly okay. Whatever works the best for you, that's what you want to use. And it'll be trial and error, definitely. You get out there and you shovel you some dirt and rocks out of a creek bed into a bucket, and you're going to see it there, and you're going to put it in your pan, and you're going to be putting it in there. And I'm going to show you how to separate the dirt out of the gold, or the gold out of the dirt. So tonight we're going to use something called practice gold. This is a manufactured metal that I make. It's for helping people learn how to pan for gold. That way they don't have to worry about losing it. It's about half the weight of gold, but it's considerably heavier than the other material in the pan. So it acts just like real gold. Now this is going to, what we're going to do, we're going to take advantage of the fact that gold is so heavy. If you've ever had a little chunk of gold in your hands, particularly you guys and gals out there that have panned for gold, you know how heavy it is. Gold is about 2 times as heavy as lead. You fishermen out there, you all know that that is absolutely, lead is heavy. You put a little lead sinker in your hand, that thing is heavy. Now, think of that lead twice as heavy. That's how heavy gold is. So we take advantage of it. And I'm going to show you how to do that with a few easy little techniques. And I'm going to show you a couple of little things also, what not to do to minimize any gold loss when you're panning. Zach, why don't you go ahead and let's start this video. I'm going to kind of do a little talk along. I filmed this thing yesterday afternoon, just before sunset. I needed to hurry up and get it done, and it was cold outside, but we did it. Now, can you stop that for just 1 second? This is a pan that we have some dirt put in a pan. It's a little test pan, just like this, little 10-inch pan. Now, go ahead with this. We got a little bucket of water here, and there I've thrown some practice gold in there. Now, here's what we want to do. Object is to sink that gold and move the material to the front of the pan. And here's how you're going to do that. You're going to put that pan underwater. Get plenty of water in there. Now, you're going to draw a circle with that pan, with the pan tilted down just a little bit. Just a little bit down, just a circle. You're going to go slow to start with. Just a circle. But then you're going to put it on spin cycle by going a little faster. And you notice all that material has kind of homogenized, and your gold went right down there in the bottom of that pan, and your material kind of moved toward the front. Gold has disappeared. Your practice gold has disappeared, just like real gold does. Now, you're the big secret. Let's stop that for just 1 second there, Zach. Now, I'm demonstrating something right here. A pan has got a little angle on the side of the pan. If you want to put that pan, here's how you want to do this. Of course, those ridges, there's something basic that I kind of forgot to tell you. Make sure those ridges are away from you, out here. You're going to set that pan down in your water with that edge flat, level with the water. Then you're going to tip it back just a hair. Got that? Like this, and back just a little. Put it down on the water, tip it back just a little, and submerge it into the water. Go ahead there, Zach. We're going to show how we're going to do this. And I'm kind of showing this with my hand here. Kind of let level and tip it back just a little. Not a whole bunch, just a little. Like that. Maybe like that. I'm going to show you one more time. You got that now? You got that? Alright, now here's what I want you to do. I want you to submerge your pan underwater until it just covers that material up. And then, let's stop that for just a second. Here is the most, basically probably the most important part of this whole operation. You're going to see that I'm going to pointing to my wrist right now, up on that, in that video. I want you to hold that wrist stiff. Your hand and your arm stiff. And I want you to draw me a straight line back and forth. Not like this, not like this, not like this, whatever you're doing. Draw a straight line about 1 foot back and forth. Alright, let's go ahead and watch and see what happens. Now you hold your wrist stiff. Go ahead there, Zach. Let's just see if we can get us a little action there. Now, here's what does your action. Now, watch real close. See that wave going back and forth in there? It's not the jiggling of the pan or anything else getting that dirt out of there. It is that wave. And I call it the mustache effect. Watch the dirt come off this side and that side. Just like a mustache. Think of a mustache. See it fall out that side and that side? Not out the front. That wave is doing the trick. Just keep watching it. Now you'll notice that gold, or the practice gold, is still in the back of that pan. Let's stop it right there. The practice gold is still behind the first ridge, right down the back of that pan. And there is a reason why it stayed there. Let's continue a little bit further. Alright, now, I'm going to show you what you don't want to do. This is a little different technique, and you've seen it on TV, and you've seen others do it. Now, but you see what's happening with your practice gold? Your practice gold is coming out the front. Whoops, see there, I already lost one. That quick, real quick. Unless you are an expert panner, you don't want to start with doing this type of a technique. It's a good technique if you're really good at it. But if you put that underwater, let that wave do the trick, you can slosh that thing back and forth, and that gold stays right there in the back. Don't do it that way. If you shovel it like this, the gold can come out of your pan in a heartbeat. There is one other thing, and I'm going to show you why it's important to keep the arm and the wrist stiff. Because I'm going to show you how quick, if you start flipping your pan back and forth, as long as you're straight, you're okay. But the minute you twist your wrist, Let me show you something, what happens. I think I'm going to do that now. There you go, right here. Now just watch how quick. Watch out. One, see that? So you see your practice goal out here, almost ready to fall over the edge? That's why you don't want to do this number. You want to do this. You can sit here all day, you don't even have to look at that pan, and that gold will not come out of that practice gold will not come out of that pan. Remember, flat like this, back just a hair, and straight line, and you will be an expert panner. If you flip that wrist, that's what's going to happen. Or you shovel it, it starts coming right out immediately. Remember, you're going to have dirt on top of that. You can't see that gold. We're doing this without the dirt just to show you what happens to the gold underneath that dirt. Hey, Craig. Where is that? Piedmont. All right. Go ahead with that. And I'm just going to just pick this up. Oh, yeah, you said, oh, I don't have any rocks in there, Fred. Fred, you don't have any rocks in there. I got some pretty little rocks that I had. They're just polished rocks that I just threw in the pan on top of that gold, or the practice gold. Do the same thing, and it'd be dirt in there also. You just go ahead and do your little circle, get the gold down at the bottom, and you use your fingers just like a rake. Kind of underwater. You want it underwater, in the water, because gold sticks to any kind of a small mass. It is not magnetic, but it has an affinity for mass. Don't know why, but it will stick. And then you continue panning in your normal way. If you've got more rocks after you've done that a while, you just swirl it around in a nice little circle. That motion is a circle. Tilt it down a little bit in the front. Stop that right there. And then you will wind up with your clean gold in your pan. So the mystery of gold panning is really not a mystery. It's more technique than anything else. And hello, Mike. I think I know where Mike's from. Hey, how you doing? We have a few things that I was going to show you tonight. You know, one of the things, first of all, I want to thank all of you for showing up tonight and taking the time to watch us live. I want as many questions as possible. You will be able to see this after the show. And hello, Carol. And Latte. Oh, and Carnell. Hello, Darn. Is that what that? Darren. And there's Mike again. And Douglas. So it'd be nice to know where you guys are from. The last time we were on here, we had a lot of internet problems. But I'm going to tell you what. This is quite a... We really enjoyed watching all of you. I think we're going to try to see if I can get a few questions answered here tonight. Kayla, would you kind of like to ask me a couple of questions that we can answer for the folks?
All right, Stacy wants to know, what's the biggest gold nugget you have ever found, and was it on bedrock, and have you ever mined in Anvil Mountain in Alaska?
That's a lot of questions. First of all, the biggest nugget I ever found was approximately about 3/4 of an inch long, about 3/4 of an ounce nugget. A couple of them. I was working for a mining company in about 70 or 80 miles above the Arctic Circle in Little Squaw, Alaska, near the Chandler Lake. No, I have not mined in that part of Alaska. It's have something else that.
Ben wants to know, who taught you to pan to gold, and where did you learn?
Ben, I can tell you that I'm more or less self-taught. I did watch a few people, but just watching, I didn't always pan that good. I certainly did not. And I've watched lots of people pan and said, there's got to be a better way. and I think I've developed a fairly decent technique. When 3 and 4 or 5-year-olds can nail it every time, the very first time, you know that it's pretty easy and it is efficient, because you know how little ones are. We did a lot of sports shows in Oregon and in California, and I'm going to tell you what, these youngsters made their parents so proud. It was unbelievable. They had these gigantic smiles on their face. Look what my little Johnny did, or you know, my little Susie did. They panned every one of them. Every one of them got it, and we just let them go at it. Like I said, it was the adults. They were hard to teach. Any diamonds in the Yukon? I don't mind in the Yukon, but yes, there are diamonds in the Yukon. I don't know. There was a deposit of kimberlite discovered in north central Alaska. Canada. Big diamond mine right now. Hello, Lorraine, from the UK. All right. Do we have some more questions?
Patrick wants to know what happened to the new show that was supposed to come out, All That Glitters.
Okay, All That Glitters. I just talked to our producer tonight. We're in final edit on the show. Our show that originally was going to be called All That Glitters is going to apparently be called Gold Blooded. It is an adventure with Dustin and me, the 2 Texas boys, and we worked our tails off right at the McKinley Falls. This was in 14. The powers that be decided that it was going to be a little too difficult to film it. Well, we proved them wrong. I filmed hours, hundreds of hours of film myself, along with the Texas boys. We also, our producer, Mr. Peter Rice, with P&A Associates in Minot, North Dakota, sent a couple of professional filmers down there, and they filmed a bunch. The very first time I was diving in the water, I can tell you that the cameraman thought he was going to be filming a death scene. It was a dangerous situation. It looked dangerous. It was dangerous. We were 20 feet above the waterfall, the big waterfall. There's a reason we were there and not in the bottom of the great big waterfall. But yes, it is going to be a documentary. We are working on that as we speak. We have a final edit on it. Dustin has been working, actually he's been putting some really good footage together to add to what we've already got. We've got a full-length feature already ready, but we want to improve it, and Dustin has been actually putting some strips together. Our editor tonight, our producer, Mr. Rice, asked me to have Dustin send him what he had, because he wanted to add some more to it also. So this is going to be an exciting documentary.
So, Richard wants to know what Dustin does for a living when he's not mining for gold.
Hello, Richard. Yes, Dustin is a construction worker, just like he has always been all his life. I taught him well, I guess. Sometimes he won't admit it. He won't admit it sometimes, but yeah, he learned a lot on our projects. He was actually working in a mine up in Alaska, just south of Juneau, Alaska. He was doing construction work for a mine up there, a very large mine, and that's mostly what he does. Then occasionally he will take a little vacation now and then, but he is living in Juneau, Alaska. All right, let me show you something that you guys that are asking all these questions, I'm going to show you something here. There's a little tree here. This is something a little different. Arkansas. Hello there, Bill, from Arkansas. Yeah. How about the region of North Carolina, JD? Look, now, you see this thing? This is a Dakota Fred, probably might be backwards on your film. It says Dakota Fred Practice Panning Kit. This is a couple of pans. It's got some practice gold. You cannot buy these in the store. We don't sell them. We made about 185 of them. We've been giving them away mostly, and we're down to less than 20 of these things left. Not even that. I think we've got about 15 of them left, if that. Tonight, I'm going to just randomly select someone out of our commenters there, the people that are asking questions or making comments on the live broadcast. I'm going to get in touch with you some way or another through Facebook, and we will get an address to send you this. But this is going to be a random giveaway, and it's got a couple of vials of practice gold in it. You can see that. I don't know how hard to see it in the thing. It's got a brand on there. It says Dakota Fred on a little wooden box, 2 pans, and a little poke of dirt in there that Jen and I put together ourselves. And we appreciate all of you guys. We really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. This is, hello Brandon. Kayla, got a question.
So Joshua would like to know if you would ever consider filming again with Discovery.
Would I film with Discovery again? Certainly. Let's say that we filmed this summer, but I can't tell you what network or who, but I will tell you I am under contract.
With that being said, we have Darren who wants to know if we're ever going to see you on Gold Rush again.
Darren wants to know if I'm going to be back on Gold Rush again. I know there were rumors flying around this summer that I was going to be on Gold Rush this year. I will tell you that this year I will not be on Gold Rush, to my knowledge. There's something in the works. We can't disperse. Like I say, when you're under contract with a big company, mom's word. But I will say that I am under contract. How about that? Does that tell you anything? So don't give up on us. It definitely is a possibility, but this year, slim chance. Thank you, Darren.
Okay, we have one more question. Grant wants to know, where are the puppies?
Oh, the puppies. Yeah. I decided that'd be really a nice Santa Claus. I was working on being Santa Claus there. So, I knew Jen wanted a puppy. She'd been after me for months and months and months. Like, we need a little... No, what she said, let me tell you how she did this. She said, Fred, wouldn't it be nice if we adopted a child? My eyes got that big. What? I don't think so. She says, or we could maybe get a puppy. Guess what? One. So I got her a puppy. Well, she felt so sorry for this young little dog. She got me a dog for Christmas. A little puppy. They're little mini Aussie shepherds or something like that. I'm just now learning whatever they are. They're very nice. They're about 10 weeks old now, 8 or 10. They've been weaned and had their first set of shots and all that stuff. Wow, they're a handful, let me tell you. They're a handful. I don't remember children being that rambunctious, but boy, they are. They are rambunctious. You'll be seeing some of them perhaps next week. Do we have another question of any kind from anyone? Zach? Craig? No.
notices that most gold shows are centered around mountainous areas, and he was wondering if gold can also be found in flatland areas.
Would you believe that there is gold in the Mojave Desert? Any mountains there? Any place that there has been any kind of volcanic activity, you're going, in ancient times, you're going to find gold and many other minerals. There is just, and everybody wants to know, Fred, how do you find gold? Well, the first thing you do, if you wanted to go out and find gold, the first thing you want to do, go where the old timers found the gold 100 years ago, because they were very inefficient. They didn't have modern machinery. They were not as many of them, and they certainly didn't get all the gold. All the tailings and all this, if there is a tailing pile, you probably want to work that tailing pile. Go where the old timers found it, because it was easy gold 150 years ago. You walked around and you could literally see it in the creeks. Besides them picking it up and panning some of it, it was right there. But nowadays, then came another segment of miners, and they found it was a little harder. They had to pan pretty hard. Then the guys got the wise idea that, hey, a little bit of equipment, and man, we put some gin poles up and we'll move their stuff. We got the material, and they started using a little bit of machinery. By the 30s, about 1930 or so, they were using all kinds of little things, little drag buckets and all kinds of stuff, little dozers even. Well, nowadays, guess what revolutionized mining? You guessed it. Dozers and loaders and excavators. Particularly excavators and loaders. You can dig. Those two can do what 100, 300 men cannot do in one day of work. So they revolutionized. Now the gold is harder to find. It's deeper. There's more regulation. A lot of that. Tell me about it. Yes. But if you know how to do it, there is still gold to be found with a couple of buckets and a little sluice box in a creek and a shovel and some hard work. That's how you want to start, to see if you really like mining or not. And you have to find out if you like hard work.
So Chris wants to know, what color pan works best, green or black?
Well, who is that now?
Christopher.
Chris wants to know if the green pan or the black pan is better. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I prefer a green pan, and I'm going to tell you why. One of the main reasons. There's nothing wrong with a black pan, but when it gets down to the real fine stuff with the little gold in it, you'll notice one thing about almost any place you go that's got gold. It's going to have something called black sand. Same color as the pan you're panning in. And it is hard to see black on black, but black on green, you can see that quite well. So I prefer a color other than black. You can get a pink one. I've seen ladies get pink ones, they get blue ones. Anything besides black. I know black is probably the easiest and the least expensive pan, but I would definitely say go with a different color than black, because black sand is always present, almost always present where there's gold. And I also want to welcome the guys with that are metal detectors out there. I have one quick story before I'm going to go. Now, I've not done much metal detecting, but this story will perk your interest about metal detecting. I saw several people near Winnemucca, near Mill City. You guys know where it is. A lot of people go there and metal detect. And I thought, well, I had never metal detected before. And there was a little place up at by Mill City that was selling metal detectors. They had one left. This particular one was a, I don't know, a Fisher gold bug too. That's what it was. Had a little coil on it. The lady, I think her name was Dusty. She said, "Here, I'll show you how to use it." So she goes out and waves it around and gives it to me. And she says, me being left-handed, she says, "Hey, you're a natural at that." I said, "Okay, whatever that is." I took it back over to where these people were panning and, Fred, come on over here and join us. We'll show you how to do all that stuff. So I'm waving it around. About 20, 25 minutes, I keep hearing this beep every time I hit the ground, but I kept seeing it was hitting a bush, near a bush, and I thought, oh, what's that? I said, man, I wish the bush would stop ringing off all the time, because I can't tell nothing. So I'm going around and I'm swinging it, so I called one of the real experienced guys over there. His name was Dick. Now, forgive me for what I'm going to say. And I'm going to say it on live TV. His name, I'm going to tell you what his name was. His name was Dick. And they call him 2-Pound Dick. It's because at one time he did find a very big gold nugget. So he really reveled in the fact that his name was 2-Pound Dick. Okay, all right. I know everybody said, "Oh, Fred, you should never say that." Well, that's what his name was. And so he comes over, he says, it was in calcite. So he's digging with a little hammer, claw hammer. He's digging on it down about 3 or 4 inches, and I keep waving it over this little hole down there he's dug. He said, "Yeah, Fred," he said, "it sounds like it's still there." So we dug a little more, got down about 5 inches, and we pulled out a little piece of white calcite. And I wave it over the top of it, and it's going veep, 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 veep. It was a .40 gold, piece of gold. A nugget, almost a half an ounce, within 30 minutes of me buying that metal detector. And that's my story. I'll tell you what, next week, you know, there's some other things that we're going to be doing. We're going to try on this show to get us some interesting subjects come in here. Maybe interesting personality to join us. We don't know if we can get them next week or not. We didn't even know if our internet had been down for today's the 4th day. We haven't had internet servers for 4 days. So, one thing we will discuss every once in a great while. I know a lot of a lot of miners and metal detectors and just old scrounger dudes go out there digging bottles and stuff, looking for gold, looking for anything else. Civil War buffs, they find bottles. How about old bottles like this? Would you have any idea why that bottle is round? Kind of unusual shaped. Flat on this bottom. It's flat. You can't stand it up. It'll fall over. It looks like it's got a salt pepper shaker thing on the top. Very old. Around turn of the century. And I'm going to tell you what it says. It's embossed on here. And this says, Dick's Ant Destroyer. Finley Dix and Company. Distributors and Company. New Orleans, Louisiana. I found and purchased lots of bottles from the New Orleans area. Probably had about 20,000 different bottles in my hand. This was an interesting one. But the question is, why is it shaped like that? Do you have any idea? If you tune in next week, I will tell you why it is shaped that way. And maybe a couple of other interesting facts. We're going to try to find out, get us some more interesting projects going for next week. A little bit about bottles will be one of them. Answering lots more questions will be another. And hello, Emily. Cool jar bottle, yes. So the ants couldn't get in. Okay. Luke says it was for ships. The one you saw last week, the little round bottom one, I can tell you something about real quick. It was round on the bottom because they laid them down in a ship from Europe and they used them as ballast. And guess what was in those bottles? Water. Just like we do today in a plastic bottle, they put regular water in those bottles, sealed it with a cork, and that's why it laid down, so the corks would stay wet and they wouldn't leak. So, a little piece of interesting thing about old bottles. I can tell you a bunch of stuff about them, but that's going to be for a later show. You'll learn a little bit maybe next week. Hopefully we can find us an interesting personality to join me on the live broadcast. And I really, really appreciate you guys. Hello there, Art. You're having way too much fun. No, you can't have too much fun. So, Art, thank you. We appreciate it. Sayonara, goodbye, adios, all that type of thing. And I'm going to see you next week. Next Tuesday.